Hi, I'm Juliette Siegfried. I'm an American living in Leiden, a small town in the Netherlands, about 35 minutes from Amsterdam. I live with my husband of 20 years, Roland, his other love, Laurel, who's my best friend, and she's also the biological mother of our daughter, Maya, who's 8. And we live with an older gentleman, Barry. He's a family friend, and he's a sort of grandfather figure to our daughter. How do you define your relationship? I would define it as a polyamorous live-in family. When did you first realize that you were not monogamous or that monogamy didn't work for you? Well, I realized it over time after trying monogamy and failing again and again, because I would fall in love occasionally with other men, even if I already had a partner, or in the case when I was first married. And when my marriage ended due to my cheating, I told my then partner, who's still my husband today, that I had a cheating problem. And he suggested that maybe there was another way, that maybe we could be open and honest with each other about our interest in other people. And this was a very radical concept in 1998, for me anyway. We had never heard of polyamory, and when I first heard of polyamory, I didn't think it was for me, because I thought that was, I don't know, some weird sex fiends or something. So it took several years to really close down the idea that I would ever be monogamous again, and that polyamory was actually where I belonged. What's the best part about being polyamorous? Being able to be myself, not having to hide it if someone comes along who's interesting. And we've really enjoyed just having more people in our life that we care about. It's a very wonderful feeling to have people who love you, either romantically or just as family, or good friends, and sharing resources and helping each other out and taking care of our daughter and working together and just being a little community. It's really, really worked out well for us. What's the part you struggle with the most or find the most difficult? A couple of things. Communication is still sometimes difficult. If I have something difficult to tell my husband or my boyfriend, I choke up and I feel kind of sick and get nervous, and I find it hard to say what I fear will upset them maybe or hurt our relationship. It rarely does. Communication usually ends up very, very well, but it's still a scary thing to do. And the other thing is I still struggle with jealousy with new partners, not with Roland. I don't have any problem with him anymore at all. But with new partners, I haven't built up that level of trust and experience yet, and so I don't know how they'll behave with other women, and I've lost a lot of partners to monogamy. So I still get very nervous and insecure when my newer partners, say less than a year, start finding other new partners. How do you deal with difficult feelings like jealousy, insecurity, and loneliness? Two ways, mainly. I try to talk about it with the partner, and usually they help reassure me, and if not, they're not a good partner. And I also keep myself really busy and fill my life with wonderful people and activities and friends and all that, so that no matter what happens, even if I lose a partner, I still have a wonderful, full life to enjoy. And I don't struggle with loneliness. I live with all these people, and in fact, I have to search for alone time sometimes to get off on my own and recharge. How do you manage conversations about these difficult feelings with yourself and with your partners? I don't really have an answer for that one. I talk about it when I have the courage to do so, and it almost always ends up feeling better once I get it out and we actually talk about it. What's one thing you wish other people knew about non-monogamy and polyamory? Lots of things. One important thing is that it is not something you can just try on like a hat in a store or a dish in a restaurant. You really have to believe in it, because it's not easy to step outside the bounds of monogamy. Society's against it. Your family's probably against it. Many of your friends are against it. And if you don't really believe in it, it's pretty easy to turn around and run back to the safe confines of monogamy. So think long and hard, do your research, talk to people, read about it. Make sure you believe that this is a real viable option, a real way of life, and get to know some other poly people and see how you feel. If it makes sense to you, then you'll probably be okay. If it doesn't, you probably won't. I guess that's about it. Nice to meet you all.